talk about yesterday. Trailing the Ravens 20-10 early in the fourth, the Steelers turned to Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown, who combined for 120 yards and 3 scores. In the fourth quarter alone, Brown scored the go-ahead touchdown, stretching to reach the ball over the goal line. Incredible, with 9 seconds remaining as the Steelers defeated the Ravens 31-27. So Pittsburgh has now clinched the AFC North title in the number 3 seed in the AFC with a win over the Ravens, eliminating Baltimore from playoff contention in the process. Ryan Clark must be happy about that. How you doing?
I mean, all is right with the world.
Yeah?
Stephen A., you even look slightly happy today.
Look, man, the Steelers won, and the NBA gave me a sensational basketball game yesterday. The combination of the two offset the fact that I'm Santa Claus, so I'm usually giving gifts instead of getting them. You know what I mean?
You sounded like the Grinch on Twitter last night. Well, Every time the Steelers gave up a play, I'm looking at Stephen A.
I was getting very, very nervous, particularly when they were down 20-10. I was getting very upset with Ben Roethlisberger, very upset. But I feel better now.
You can't tweet your emotions.
Excuse me.
You can't tweet your emotions.
Excuse me. If I do, I might become president.
Well, we'll leave it on that. You have a nice Christmas? Yeah, good. Hope you and the family enjoyed. Oh, Max, can the Steelers...
Given what just happened, by the way, that's not out of the realm of possibility.
All right, let's stay focused, Ollie. Max, can the Steelers win the AFC?
Well, I'm about to ruin this segment, Molly.
Okay.
Because we have a morning meeting where we
do
find out where we stand on this stuff, and this is a debate show. And I said no in the morning meeting because I didn't think so. That's right. Because I didn't think so to start the season. Everyone was very high on the Steelers, and I thought, nope. You know, you're missing your second best wideout. You're going to miss him all season.
Okay.
You're missing maybe the best offensive player in the game for 3 games to start the season. It was supposed to be 4, and the suspension, Le'Veon Bell, got reduced to 3. And I thought last year was the chance that they had to be the greatest offense ever, and I didn't think much of their defense, so I said no. People like Stephen A. Smith, who are Steelers fans, Ryan Clark, too high on the Steelers. And I've maintained that position throughout, and including in the morning meeting. And today, while I was doing research with the great David Sabino, I did mention, I said, you know, I know the Steelers have looked better and better, and people on my timeline won't shut up about their defense. But it's not good enough to get out of the AFC, except since Week 11. Damn! Since Week 11, it's pretty good. In fact, it's knocking on the door of elite, if it's not actually elite. And they remind me a lot of my Giants. It's not about who's the best at all phases of the season. It's about who gets hot late.
So you're flipping your script. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, I'm flip-flopping. Yeah, the Steelers, I still don't think they're going to do it. I like the Patriots to get out of the AFC, but the question as to can they, I can't sit up here and honestly tell you no. I am an empiricist, Ryan Clark, Stephen A. Smith. If the evidence tells me otherwise, that's how I got to go.
The difference between you and I is I have the evidence before the morning meeting, not after. See, I knew what I knew.
You don't even have the evidence by the show. What are you talking about?
I'm looking at it right now.
I'm still waiting for your evidence.
My position is very, very clear. I said from the very, very beginning that the Steelers' offense makes them a threat. Their secondary stinks. I can't give them the edge over the New England Patriots, but when you consider the bevy of weapons, you can't summarily dismiss them. There have been times when New England has had a problem scoring. There has been times where their defense, even though it never fully breaks, it does bend quite often. And when you look at the fact that you have an Antonio Brown, that you have a guy like, I mean, this guy, what is it, Grimble, I'm sorry. This dude out of nowhere, first catch of the year, 20-yard touchdown catch from Big Ben Roethlisberger. I'm looking at Le'Veon Bell, who you, Max, have repeatedly stated is the best running back in football, putting it on display again, what they're capable of doing offensively. When you think about that, and it's not the same kind of explosion. I remember the days where Dan Fouts had Kellen Winslow, Charlie Joyner, Chuck Muncie, and the crew, and I was literally petrified every time they touched the ball because that's how elite their offense was. The Steelers have personnel that's as elite, but their offense doesn't appear as explosive as that offense was back in the 80s. Nevertheless, they're formidable enough, and there's no stout defensive team in the playoffs that you can summarily say, oh, they're going to shut these boys down. It's nothing like that, so the Steelers have a chance.
Well, for me, it's this. I agree with Max. It's not, will I pick them? I won't pick them today to be the Super Bowl representative from the AFC, but they can definitely go win the game. Here's what scares me, though. You talked about the things they can do. What scares me has been Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. On the road, he hasn't played as well as he's played at home.
There's upside left still.
Right, yes, he's thrown interceptions, so Ben has to get over that if he's going to go into Foxborough and win. Early in the season, I thought to myself, it would have to be a shootout, because when we saw these two teams play, it was Landry Jones. That's nobody's watching that. But this defense has started to make some plays. This defense has started to not have to wait on the Pittsburgh Steelers offense to get them going. And if they can get in the game and it's Big Ben in the clutch against Tom Brady, he's one of the few quarterbacks in the NFL who I'm not scared of in that matchup, who I don't just come out and say unequivocally that Tom Brady is a better clutch quarterback than he is. But they have to get there. He has to play well the whole game. They have to feed
I love the fact that you're focusing on Roethlisberger, because that's what's scary to me, is that there's room for improvement at the place where you think they're strongest, which is quarterback. We think of the Steelers as many things, but here's what swayed me with the stats. Since week 11, total QBR against, this is what their defense is doing, third best in football in the NFL, total QBR against. Yards per game, 1. Best defense since week 11. Yards per play, 2. Second best per play. How about on the ground, rushing, 7th, they're top 10. That's their defense since week 11 is elite.
Yep. I also want to mention 3 AFC playoff teams will be without their starting quarterback. We'll get into that a little later in the show, but I want to stay with the Steelers right now. Also in the news this weekend, Steelers Hall of Famer Terry Bradshaw says he has issues with the notion that Mike Tomlin is an elite coach, saying the following on FS1. He's a nice coach. To me, I've said this, he's a really great cheerleader guy. I don't think he's a great coach at all. His name never even pops in my mind when we think about great coaches in the NFL. Stephen A., does Bradshaw have a point on Tomlin?
No, he doesn't, because he threw the word cheerleader in there. And it comes across as disrespectful. Let me say this. I'm a lifelong Steelers fan. I love the Steelers since I've watched football. The first football game I ever saw was the Immaculate Reception by Franco Harris, and I've loved the black and gold ever since.
Talk about a first game to see.
That's right, first game. And I've loved the Steelers ever since. Terry Bradshaw will always be revered by me, not just because he's a 4-time Super Bowl champion, but also because I worked at Fox years ago, and I don't know him personally, but I've been around him. Find him to be a good man, very pleasant individual. This is nothing personal. But when you say the word cheerleader, it diminishes everything that Mike Tomlin has accomplished. You're not taking into account his football acumen, his intellect, his ability to teach and coach and instruct. Mike Tomlin is a Super Bowl champion. Mike Tomlin has been to 2 Super Bowls. In the 9 years that he has coached in the NFL, he has missed the playoffs 3 times. He's made it the other 6. That's not a cheerleader. Rex Ryan could be accused of being a cheerleader. He's missed the playoffs his last 6 years as an NFL head coach. Jeff Fisher could be called a cheerleader. He's missed the postseason 16 times in 22 years. There's a whole bunch of Jason Garrett, before this year and 2 years ago, could definitely be called a cheerleader, because the only damn reason he got the job was because of his relationship with Jerry Jones. All I'm saying is Terry Bradshaw has the right to be critical of Tomlin. He's a 4-time Super Bowl champion for that franchise. But the manner in which he expressed himself, I found to be disrespectful.
Let me take it a step further. Terry Bradshaw would say whatever he wants about the Steelers forever. Not only a 4-time Super Bowl champ, a 2-time Super Bowl MVP.
That's right.
He could say whatever he wants about the Steelers forever. Everyone can shut up. Doesn't mean that you have to agree with the analysis or the conclusion. Here's the bottom line about Mike Tomlin. Minimum 20, maybe 25 teams, if he was available today, would want him tomorrow. Right? I would start a Kickstarter campaign to hire him as a head coach. I don't even have a football team. Oh, Tomlin's available? Get him. In the last 6 seasons, this is why there's criticism, because of the Steelers' tradition of winning Super Bowls, although there are huge eras where they don't come close. But, okay, Terry Bradshaw's from the era where they won it every year just about. You look at the playoff record and say that's not good enough. 6 seasons, last 6 years, what's his playoff record? Okay, in 4 of those seasons, he won 10 games. 10 games! Belichick is better. Take Belichick out of the equation. He's better than everyone who ever lived. Is anyone else better than Mike Tomlin? Pete Carroll's on that level. Is anyone else better? he's the guy you want.
Well, here's the thing. It's layered for me because being a Pittsburgh Steelers, Terry Bradshaw has always been very critical. You can say that he doesn't want Ben to succeed. In 2010, he's saying, I hope they don't reduce his suspension. And he was saying that he should be penalized more. In 2014, Ben says, I don't think Terry Bradshaw wants me to win 4 Super Bowls. So he's always had a tumultuous relationship with the team. You see Franco, you see Mr. Blunt, you see Mr. Green, you see these guys around. Terry Bradshaw is never around. So let's get that out.
Now, hold on. Let's remind our audience. This is a former Pittsburgh Steeler here and a Super Bowl champion with the Steelers himself. Go ahead.
Right. And so I wanted to get into this and look at this in a way that I wasn't off-put by what he said. And so I said, okay, let me look at it. You can say Coach Tomlin's not a great coach if you consider the Belichicks of the world, the Sabans
of the world.
Right, the Belichick or the Saban, the great elite coach. I'm okay with that. I get that. But when you call him a cheerleader guy, right, that's like me. I wanted to believe, okay, maybe this is just one of those things we do accidentally, like when we have a great edge rusher that's a white guy, we say, oh, my goodness, he has a great motor. Yeah. Right? Or if it's a black quarterback is talented. This is totally disrespectful, and it bordered on ignorance when he said that Green Bay should get rid of Aaron Rodgers and keep Mike McCarthy because he's a great coach. My thing has never been, I'm going to defend Coach Tomlin to the end. My thing has always been, tell me who you take over him. And when you go to Mike McCarthy, a guy who's coached longer, a guy who's only won 11 more games, has had losing seasons when Coach Tomlin hasn't had losing seasons, it makes you look ignorant. And that's what's sad, because Terry Bradshaw is not an ignorant man.
He's not an ignorant man. He's very smart, but I'm very disappointed. And like I said, I'll reiterate, cheerleader. That's the insult. And Mike Tomlin's record is 102 and 57 as a head coach. 64% of his games he has won, and he has never, ever had a losing season in his 9+ year career as the coach of the Pittsburgh.
And as already a Super Bowl champion. That's it.